Diddy gets arrested. Kevin Liles is stepping down. And it seems like a lot is popping off in this wild, wonky end of 2024 in which Cat Williams opened up the portal with his Shannon Sharpe interview. For those of you that don't know, or if you've been living under a rock, one of the biggest, or actually the biggest scandal ever in hip hop has occurred. Sean Diddy Combs is in cuffs.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity.
And he's being locked up for racketeering, RICO investigation, trafficking, prostitution across state lines. And there is a lot to unpack, as this has not just ramifications for the music industry, but also content. This all kind of started with Cassie, there was rumors that Cassie was going to go public, and Diddy immediately settled. But it seemed like the US of A was launching an investigation into Diddy's wild, debaucherous nights, whether it be Miami, New York City, or across the country. And remember when we were talking about Kid Cudi and how they might have bombed him, and it turns out that actually probably is true. And this is all alleged. It seems like there's actual cooperation that could be occurring with Kid Cudi in terms of the arsonist stuff. And on top of this, they also found weaponry with shaved serial numbers. And there was also footage of Diddy at Central Park just hanging out, which I found kind of odd in light of the serious investigation occurring. Now, the fallout is going to be interesting to observe, as a lot of people were tied to Diddy. I just said Kevin Liles stepped down from his role at 300. I'm not saying it's connected. I'm not saying it's, the reason, but we do have to monitor what happens, what goes on with the rest of these CEOs who step down. Kevin Liles is a legend in the industry, and everybody's tied in. Like a lot of the podcasters I talk about, this isn't necessarily about the podcaster you think I'm talking about. This could be about Drink Champs. This could be about $1 million worth of game. This goes from the top down, and there's a ton of evidence. You know how in The Wire they say you got to put the dope on the table? Well, they didn't have the dope, even though I think they do have some dope possibly. They got the lube. They got the weapons, and they seem to have an array of cooperating witnesses. They're mentioning hotel employees who were bribed. Bribery, that's a big charge. And the thing is, the freak-off terminology was a very real thing, but it wasn't just like escorts. We're hooking up with escorts. It was like we're bringing in escorts. Not only on top of that, we're doing coercion. You better have sex with that person, or else I'm not going to be able to give you the money that you want. Take these drugs. Do it. And now some of Diddy's past actions, whether it be making the band and kind of the way he would coerce people on TV, are in a different light. I think that this is a big deal. Hip hop has taken a hit. When you look at Africa Bambaataa and now Diddy, they even said they have tapes. And you can bet your bottom dollar that a lot of celebrities are on those tapes. And who knows who will be tied to this. There's also allusions by the district attorney, the USA attorney, that there are other people that are being put on the docket. This is a real docket, not them fake dockets. I don't know, y'all. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think is the future for all of the top execs in the industry. There's some folks saying that Jay-Z is next. I'm kind of curious why people are saying Jay-Z is next. I know throughout my life, I'm talking about when I was in like 5th grade, when More Money, More Problems was out, people was talking about Diddy. Talking about how crazy he was, talking about how violent he was, talking about how he was freaky. It wasn't the same language with Jay-Z. I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't the same language. Like, Jay-Z's public persona is not as outlandish as Diddy's was. He didn't do reality TV. He didn't really bug out on people. He wasn't making people work and go crazy and walk to Brooklyn for cheesecake, making them sing End of the Road in a battle rap style face-off. So I'm curious why people think Jay-Z is in the scope right now. Like, you look at how he handled the Solange situation, seemed to handle that better than a Diddy would. So I'm curious, and I wonder, there's also folks saying that Drake is next. I know Drake has a legacy of things on his jacket in terms of what Kendrick Lamar brought up, but if you actually just do light Googling of Diddy's violent ways, a lot of stuff comes up. You know, when he pressed the football coach over his son not getting playing time, he cracked Steve Stout with a bottle, allegedly. I don't know, I'm just gonna throw allegedly. And much, much more. You know, it's just a different discussion when you talk about Jay-Z and when you're talking about Drake. I think those people are in a different bucket, and I don't think they're going to get to the level of a RICO or a federal indictment across state lines and extortion, coercion, making people sleep with each other and have day-long 48-hour freak-offs where people were manipulated into doing things they didn't necessarily want to do. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you think Kevin Liles stepping down is a sign of things to come. Kevin Liles is, you know, this industry, you can stay in a role like that for a really long time. Some of the language is crazy. And I think I'm going to read some of the indictment. For decades, Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Diddy, blah, 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 the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influences of the multifaceted business empire that he owned and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Sean Combs, Diddy, blah, 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 operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States corporate entities. Oh my God, that language is crazy. They're setting aims on the labels, including the Bad Boy Entertainment Combs Enterprise, effectively known as the Combs Businesses. Corporate entities in Combs businesses included, among other things, record labels, recording studios, apparel lines, alcoholic spirit business, a marketing agency, and a television network/company. At all times relevant to this indictment, Diddy, the defendant, engaged in persistent and pervasive patterns of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of this pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs and others, acting at his direction, made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support. Physical abuse by Combs, the defendant, was recurrent and widely known on numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years. Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at them, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance in a Los Angeles hotel about March 2016, which was captured and publicly reported. Obviously, he's talking about Cassie. Sean Combs, the defendant, used the Combs businesses and included certain employees to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial sex. those employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors and other close associates, acted as Combs' intermediaries. Also, from at least about 2008 of the filing of this indictment, the defendant and others known and unknown were members and associates of a criminal organization. Oh, snap. Diddy is being recognized as a criminal organization called the Combs Enterprise. The Enterprise. Are the feds saying that these guys were actually like a mafioso type family? The Combs familia? This is on page 3 of the indictment. Holy crap. The Combs Enterprise, including its leadership, its members, and its associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by Title 18, United States, Section 8196, blah, blah, blah. You're all going to jail. The Combs Enterprise consisted of Sean Combs, Diddy, the defendant within the Combs business, including but not limited to Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global, individuals employed and associated with Combs business, and others known and unknown. Oh my God. You're going to be able to look at Diddy's basic music structure and Harv Pierre. Is that someone that's on the chopping block? Combs Enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members function as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objective of the Combs Enterprise. The Combs Enterprise was engaged in and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. The Combs Enterprise operated in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. Freakoffs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers. During Freakoffs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances in order to keep his participants obedient. After Freakoffs, Combs and the victims received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. So that means Diddy was having people probably have large amounts of group sex for days, and they were so famished, so dehydrated that they needed IV fluid. Jesus Christ, the filing of this indictment, you telling me this goes back to 2008? So what basically this is kind of a call, a dog whistle. Hey, everybody, start cooperating. Not only should you cooperate, but there's already other people cooperating. So save yourself now. Save yourself now. Diddy is done. I really don't think there's any way out of this. Initially, we thought, oh, I didn't think Diddy was going to get the cuffs put on him. I didn't think he was going to be put on any braces. No, I mean bracelets. Braces would have been bad too. But, oh, man. Big black eye on hip-hop. I'm going to do other videos about this. There's probably going to be like 7 videos today because this is a wide sweeping indictment that has ramifications for the industry. And like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, Kevin Liles stepped down. I don't know why he stepped down, but the timing is interesting. And let's monitor other people stepping down. All right, y'all, that's my video for now. Sorry for the long read, but you got to do the science. This is Danny from The Stop. Peace.
Feel the passion.